How can we try to get used to talking to this?
Metal sphere.
Oh, they're kissing. Cute. I had a hard time in school. Felt like I was like smarter than the teachers or something. Maybe that's my own ego as a kid or something. But I thought they were stupid. It felt like behind everything that they were saying was some sort of energy from. Felt like they had like passive aggressive energy for stuff that they had going on at home. I don't know. It was just me, but it felt targeted. I guess this isn't really targeted as me, but I had a teacher that would segregate the classroom. Hispanic people, white people, and then they had the black people across the classroom. So she quite literally segregated them. But she was like a 70-year-old lady. I remember I would sit there 35 minutes, so half the period or whatever, your book studies, essays, and you would have to write down what you would read. I would sit there and I would act like I'm reading the book because maybe I had ADHD or something, but I would sit there and read a page. I couldn't understand it. I'd read the page 2 or 3 times and I wouldn't get it.
Now I can read, but back then it was.
I couldn't even finish a page. This was like 7th grade. I would just write like random bullshit, not even just because I like remember Lord of the Rings, so I would write just the stuff that I remember. I wonder if you can hear the shifting of the mic. I remember I would go, I had a dog that was a Chihuahua. And he would pee on everything. I don't know why he would pee on everything. I had a camo hoodie. I left it like laying on something, I guess near the ground. And the Chihuahua that I had got to it, peed on it, peed on like the sleeve or something. And well, I guess there's 2 separate stories. But he peed on the sleeve, and I wore it to school. And I remember getting to class. I'm like, I have my hand on my arm, or my hand on my arm. I had my head on my arm. And I could smell my sweater. I could smell my sweater. It was just like pissed. Like, oh my god. Sitting in class, just like, can anyone else smell this? I got up and went to the bathroom. I was eating in the bathroom. I was trying to wash it off, and I just got my entire sleeve wet. And so I like took my jacket off, and I thought that would have fixed it, but it didn't. I had a wet sweater, and it was like the chest had been peed on or something. I left it in the back of the classroom. I didn't want to deal with it because for some reason I was like, didn't want to take it home. I like left it there hoping that it would go to the lost and found. It ended up going to the lost and found. And I remember my mom was like, where's your sweater? She was doing something at the office there. I forgot. But she somehow was like, oh, why don't I look in the lost and found? He found it. I took it home. And I still didn't want it. I could have just cleaned it. You know when it's cold outside and you like jump off the swings or something, or you like run? Jump off or something, and it feels like your ankles just snapped. Oh my god, the pain from that. I just remember that because I jumped off the swings. The kid that was there was like play fighting with me. He was like throwing punches at me and like elbows and stuff. He didn't mean to hit me, but he did. He hit me in the nose.
No, bro, I'm so sorry. Hit me back, hit me back. Hit me back, bro.
Oh, they're kissing. Cute. Onto the bus asking them for tissues, and they gave me tissues. In the meantime, using my sleeve, which was that camouflage jacket. It was all bloody and stuff. I can't remember if it was like after the lost and found that I used it, or if it was before that, and we washed it out. Got blood all over my sweater. I remember some other kid, we were just using the computer. Oh my god, okay. This kid that would sit behind me in class. This dude that sat behind me. One time he like tried to cut my hair, or he pretended to or something. I don't know. I wasn't confrontational, so I didn't even
fry with it.
Some other time when we were in that computer labs with the computers to do an essay or something, he started marking on my pants, doing lines on my pants, like drawing on my. Did this kid have a crush on me or something? Random dude. Why was he cutting my hair and marking up my pen?
Oh my goodness.
And some other time in high school, I didn't go to school for like months, so they kind of like held me back. They did hold me back.
But I was like technically in the other grade. I was just doing freshman classes.
That doesn't matter. You're sitting and this girl with like, I want to say platinum blonde, super blonde hair, like the blondest natural hair you could get. It was really long, and part of it was laying on this kid's desk. And this kid always started stuff for some reason with everybody. Like every teacher had an issue. During that period, hair was sitting there, and he got a Sharpie and started marking on her hair. I snitched on him, and the teacher was like,
Thank you for doing it. He always does stuff. We'll get to it.
Other time, In elementary school, I wasn't really next to this portion of the table, but somebody at the beginning of the year, so long time before, got a pickle that was dipped in ketchup, threw it on the roof of the cafeteria. It like stayed there for so long, a slice of
Pickle.
pickle slice. And I guess one day it fell. I didn't see it fall, but I remember everybody freaking out. First grade? Kindergarten? No, kindergarten. We were at the place at like morning recess or whatever, before lunch. Or after lunch, or however it works. We were playing on the swing sets, and I went over to this one section, poles that reach from one portion of the playground to the other portion. Supposed to be like a bridge that you put your feet on and walk across. Yes, 2 split poles on each side, playing on it, and I was like near the edge of it, like towards where the nuts and bolts are to like keep it on. And I was trying to like, I would put my legs on the pole, to do like a somersault backflip or somersault. I would do a backflip thing, kind of like fall on the ground. But this time it didn't work. Smacked my head against one of the nut and bolt things to hold it up, like the back of my head. And it hurt, and I was like, oh no. And I put my hand back there, it was full of blood. I had to go and get stitches, triangle stitches. I remember I ruined my favorite pillow. In middle school, 7th grade, I remember we would get on the bus to go home. I was sitting in the back, and I opened the window to look at people that were coming in, my friends. As I had my head out, this guy came in and corrected me to sit down. And so I did, and he said,
But you know what? Come in the front of the bus.
so I did. I came in the front of the bus. And I sat in the front seat. The way I sat, I put my leg, my like knee, my thigh laying on the seat, like resting on it, like my legs were up. And he said,
You know what? No, you're coming with me.
and took me to the office, made my, at the time, stepdad come and get me. He was like upset with me, having to come get me. I didn't think I did anything wrong. Okay. I didn't think I did anything wrong. I remember it was like April Fool's Day or like Easter, around that time or something, and wanted for some reason to throw an egg at school, a raw egg. I don't I don't understand. I like put it in my pocket, and I was gonna do it at school, but I never did. The egg popped, or like cracked. So I had a yolk in my pocket the whole time. Egg yolk pocket, but it was just drying. I had to like leave it and just deal with it all day long. With this weird like sweat stained looking pocket, like the hat sweat stains, where it's like the ring of like white. Ugh. I can't believe my teacher genuinely segregated the